Hello, I'm making this video because my last video, Just Be, No Mistakes, uh, there wasn't anything wrong with the video. Now I know if you listen to the video, the audio was like a reverb or feedback. It kind of had a weird sound. I don't know what the exact audio term is for it, but if you do, great. I don't care. But no coincidences. I was talking about a parallel universe, and there's an echo on the video, on the sound. So I don't think it was done by accident. I think it was done on purpose, not through my fingers, but through the universe. The universe made it happen. And if you watch the video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Now, in the video, I pointed out that uh, to just be. And things will come into your head when you follow what I said in the video. Uh, Randomly, it'll come randomly. Um, like when I created NewYorkLotto.com, I was in. Now I had bought other lottery names at that particular time that I'm talking about now, but I didn't buy the NewYorkLotto.com yet. And I'm in the store buying a lottery ticket, and I see this sign, New York Lotto. And, you know, I half-ass took it as a sign from God because, I thought, well, it's not available. There's no way I'm going to be able to buy that. So I went home and I bought it. It was available. Nobody had registered the name New York Lotto yet. I was the first. So, you know, in that way, that was the way the universe sent me a message. Uh, there have been many messages throughout my life, some that I took as messages and some that I didn't. Uh, you know, the math, the math involved in the God code, the one plus nine, and then the one times nine, and then I carried that down to nine, nine plus nine, and nine times nine, which is the bottom, and everything in between. I did that. Now, a woman where I was living prior to where I'm living a while ago, she had told me, she said, nine, with the number nine, she said, every time, like, uh, one times nine is nine, two times nine is 18, and 18 equals nine. And if you go down the line, as you see in the God code, that's the formula it works on. Now, she gave me that. I hadn't realized that at that time. And I didn't use it right away. Many, many, many months later that I used it, but I never forgot it. I saw it as a sign from God that she was telling me this, and I used it later on in the God code. So, and I was in a psych ward at the time, locked up. I was by myself in a hospital bedroom, uh, just laying there thinking, because you have nothing else to do in a psych ward, and listening and just being. I was just being. I had nothing. There was no TV. There was no phone. There was nothing. So I was just being. I was turned off to the world. And this information came to me that remember what she said. And I started writing it down. I never wrote it down. I only had it in my head. And I started writing down my thoughts. I started writing down the math and came up with the God code. Well, now we have the God code. But the God or devil. Now, well, all this is on my post on this YouTube channel. So if you go to post, you'll find the post. And now with the God or devil, you see how I wrote it out, God or devil. And then if you go up, it's dog or devil or lived, which is devil spelled backwards. So and then I went around in circles, and God went around in circles. And I explained that on the post. And you can see it on the post. But when God gave me the God or devil, he didn't give me the whole thing. He had me go and write it down because he knew just saying it, he could have said dog, he could have said lived and or lived evil, he could have said any of those things, and without writing it down, it would have meant nothing. So I wrote it down, and now we have God or devil, and the symbol that it is, the meaning of God. All right. Now I would like to explain that if you go to that post, then you'll see that there's one G in the whole thing. There's one God. Now the O's are Jesus, and they circle God. The O's circle God. So, and G is really Earth because a G is a round circle, really. Uh, and O, Jesus walked on Earth, on the outside of Earth, like we do. And that's what Jesus is, on the outside of God, the outside of Earth. And devil goes around Jesus and around God. So you would say the sky, the clouds, is the devil. And where do all our storms come from? The sky, and so, and there's four Jesuses and there's eight, I believe, eight devils. Well, I would say there's four Jesuses and there's four devils and there's one God. So, uh, but when he told me this in my subconscious, when I took the download from the universe, I didn't see all that. That didn't come to me in like a picture. I wrote it out. I wrote God or devil. And then I just sat there and with the pen. I said, well, if you do God this way, you can do God that way, and it's dog, but it's devil or God. And then if you go God upwards, you have dog again and devil or God. And if you go downwards, you have God or devil. So I just made the whole circle. And then everything went full circle. And that was the creation of God or devil. And then the other ones that are there with God or devil is God is everywhere and the devil is everywhere and Jesus is everywhere. Those were other inventions later on, not at the same time, many like years later. It wasn't right away. And I was again, just sitting in my room thinking, and I got an idea. And that's how these things come about. Now, as far as the God code, as far as the meaning of God or that God is everywhere, all those kinds of things, that ship is sailed. I took that ship and I sailed it. It's gone. You cannot redo the God code. You can't redo the meaning of God. If you do anything with those things, uh, you're stealing from me. You know, unless you put me in the footnotes as I got it from him. You know, but the point I'm trying to make with the ship has already left the dock. It's gone. You can't get it back. You're not going to get on that boat. It's over. Sure, that boat's going to turn into change the world, like the Titanic, but not like the Titanic where the Titanic sunk and people died. This is going to be where people live and people live better. But I hope. But you have your own ship to sail. You have your own ship to create. You have your own God code, your own meaning of God to do on your own, in your own way. I have no clue of what that'll be. I have no, like you had no clue about God code until you heard about it from me. Uh, and I would say it's not going to be overly complicated. You're not going to have to go take a university course to know how to do it. It's within you. But, I'm very good at patterns, as you can tell from both of those things. I, I, I have a way with patterns and I see patterns, and it's probably why I'm on this video, because of my pattern recognition. Now, that might not be you. But that doesn't mean you can't do something. It means you're not capable or you're not smart enough. It's just you never tried. It's just like if I hadn't picked up the pen to write down God or devil, if I hadn't picked up the pen to write down the God code, and the message when I did the God code, it came to me that it was a replacement for binary code. I just I just knew it, and that's what it's meant for. So you can have the same thing happen to you. Uh, Now don't do it for money. Do it for fun. Artists. When you see an artist create something beautiful with just a brush and some paint, that's the universe working through that artist. That artist is tapped into something, and that's why when you put a paintbrush to a piece of paper or canvas, you want to rip it up and throw it away because you don't have that connection, and you can't create that picture that the artist or Picasso kind of can do. But the idea in art is not to draw just to be a Picasso. Picasso's first piece of work, um, although today might be worth millions, back then was probably something that he would have threw in the wastebasket. So, and I'm not going to make money off of God or the meaning of God, or I probably won't make any money off the God code. But it doesn't mean I don't create it. It doesn't mean I don't help change the world. Uh, the guy who created seatbelts, Ralph Nader, made the patent, open patent, so every car company that wanted to have seatbelts in their car could for free. And he saved a lot of lives with those seatbelts and that design, which is still being used today. So, should he have not have done it? Should he have said to every car manufacturer, "You got to pay me $5 a seatbelt"? And they would have said, "Ah, go to hell. We don't need seatbelts." You know, so the idea is not to monetize what I'm talking about. If it happens, it happens. But that's not the motivation. The universe gave me these things, you know, so how can I monetize them? It was given to me as a free gift, you know, and, you know, this was my calling. This video is my calling. And I'm trying to give you your calling. It's your calling to do something great. And I'm telling you how to do it without telling you how to do it.